Let's talk about some business analyst expectations versus what actually the reality of the situation is. What is going on, guys? I am the BA Tutor, and on this channel, I talk all things business analyst and the world of IT. So if you guys are interested in that, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That is the best way to support the channel. And let's hop right into it. So, as you guys can tell by the title here, we're talking about expectations that people have when they first get into the business analyst role versus the reality of what they actually deal with when they do become a business analyst. So I thought this was pretty interesting to talk about. So let's just hop into the first thing here. So the first kind of expectation is that people think that BAs code. All right. I've heard this so many times from friends, family members, and etc. that people think that to become a business analyst, you have to know how to code. And honestly, folks, the reality of the situation is it depends, but little to no code is what you deal with as a business analyst. Now, as I will get to later in the video, that is not to say that the business analyst role is not technical, but you don't have to for the most part, again, there's always exceptions, but for the most part, you don't have to know how to code a certain language like Python or like JavaScript or other languages like that. You don't need to know how to code, but you need to be able to do certain technical things like SQL queries, spreadsheets, using obviously all the Microsoft tools. And so the thing is, as a BA, most of what you're doing is writing requirements. That is when people ask me, that is by the definition sort of role of the BA, right? Writing the requirements, translating those from the business stakeholders and doing the handoff over to the development team. So that is kind of the first expectation versus reality. It's like, hey, I think I have to code a lot. No, you really don't, but there are technical things that you do have to do in the role. All right, let's move on to the second expectation. People think you have to talk to only certain roles. And this is another one where people are really mistaken here, because as a BA, all right, I have seen with business analysts specifically talk to more roles than kind of any other role, right? We're talking about, you're talking to PMs, that could be project managers, it could be also product managers, you could be talking to obviously developers, that is obviously there, QA people, UA, UX people, individuals as well. Obviously, you've got the stakeholders, business stakeholders that you're going to be talking to. So there's a lot of parties that you are going to be talking to. It is not going to be just like one set of people, right? It's not going to be like that. And there are certain roles that are like that. The business analyst role, not one of them. You have to get comfortable. And this is why communication is such an important skill set to have as a business analyst, because you need to be able to communicate with all of these folks, interact with them, and also communicate them to each other in a certain type of language that would, be appropriate for them. So the way you talk to developers and the way they understand things is not the way that the stakeholders do, or the product managers do, or the project managers do. So it's a different skill set required for all of the different parties. But yes, you do have to talk to a lot of roles. So get comfortable with that. All right. As I was mentioning earlier, people think it's not a technical role. Actually, I've also heard the opposite. People think it is a technical role. So it's like both are kind of too extreme. You don't have to code, but certain times, certain companies, certain jobs will have you write SQL, will help you write queries. You obviously have to sometimes do spreadsheets, the office tools, right? You're talking about process flows, Visio, PowerPoint. So yeah, it might not be technical like coding, but you're going to have to be able to know all of these different type of things. And this all comes into play as a business analyst. So both ways, it's not all technical, but it's not technical at all, where you don't have to do any of that. All right, and then the last one I want to talk about is only work in IT. This is one of the biggest misconceptions. People expect you to only work in a company's IT department, and for the most part, that is true. A large majority of the time that will be the case. but you can be a business analyst in a multitude of different areas, like healthcare. That could be one. Like the companies could vary. It could be an insurance company. Like you could have a multitude of different departments that you could be a business analyst for. Sales, the list goes on and on. It's not just IT. Yes, for the majority of the time it is, but it's not all the time. So I believe knowing these expectations versus knowing the reality of the situation should hopefully help you guys kind of understand when you guys do, get into the role, what exactly you can expect. So hopefully that helped you guys out. If it did, please hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.